edition of Wandavision. My name is Vox.
They've been knocking on the doors, demanding our thoughts, and here we are.
Okay. Housekeeping, of course, out of the way first. We have 3 episodes to cover today. However, I feel like our episode is still going to be the standard almost hour long for our discussion because we're getting to a point now where it's just nothing is really changing besides an extra 10 minutes of credits at the end of each episode.
That's ironically enough for episode 6. This was right around the time that I got played. I got goofed on. I made a fool of myself. I sent Vox a trailer a few weeks back. It's March 1st.
Oh yeah.
Right now, the date that we're going to record these for any future listeners. And a few weeks back, I sent Vox a YouTube link to what I presumed, with my naive little monkey brain, that it was a real trailer for an upcoming episode showing what looked to be Magneto being introduced. And I sent that to Vox and basically said, "What the fuck is this?" And he politely told me that I was an idiot and that was fake. And then I came to realize there seem to be more ads and trailers for every one of these episodes than like the Marvel movies get, which I find interesting.
Yes, I agree with you there.
Both real and, of course, the fake ones that trick my stupid ass, I guess.
Another super quick housekeeping side note, we are still doing this over the interwebs, which will probably be coming to a halt pretty soon where we can finally get back at the same table, because the only reason I say that right now is because Mr. Luke's voice has gone robotic on me twice already, so just in case, because, internet...
Beep, boop, beep.
Internet's a thing. But so I remember when that kind of got out and people were like, "Oh, it's a leak. It's a big leak and it's an announcement." And then like 2 days later, people were like, "By the way, we all got bamboozled. That's just a really good CGI rendering of Magneto," which it was.
Well, not even that. Right. But my big thing was I was thinking, like, there's no way they would just show that in a fucking trailer. A bombshell of that magnitude would not happen.
Could you
and
imagine?
I guess I just didn't look. I would be, if Magneto shows up in the finale, I'm gonna be beside myself.
That was like that would be some Tom Holland level leakage if that happened. If a big spoiler.
If that got leaked like that, people are getting fired. That's not like Tom Holland. Haha, they give him things to leak.
Right.
Here and there. That's like multi-million-dollar lawsuit. People are fucking losing their homes. Levels of oopsie.
So speaking of leaks, we're gonna bounce around. I have a feeling in this episode,
okay.
So a leak happened shortly after the airing of last week's episode, which was episode 8. That showed, it was an image from episode 9 that kind of shows the family striking a pose, getting ready to fight what we're gonna assume to be Agatha. But
what's funny is I too saw that, and the very first comment I read regarding it was, "Why is Vision pink?"
Yeah, I think it's just coloring right now. I don't.
Yeah. It wasn't fully color corrected, but I just thought it was funny how like that's the level of like. Why? Like, well, that's the first thing people are worried about?
It's the same thing that happened when the pictures of Thanos started coming out for Endgame. And they were like, why is he pink now? And it's just because of it was A, not color corrected, and B, because of the coloring of the sun in that scene. And people just weren't putting that together.
Yeah.
But yeah. So anyways, with that leak, though, Disney has officially released that image now. Because it's on like all of the articles that I've been looking at today.
Well, because here's the thing: is it didn't look like that looked like one of those Entertainment Weekly stills that they put out of like new movies. So I have to imagine that might have been like a leak.
Yeah.
Chris Farley air quotes.
Some Tom Holland leak, if you will.
Yeah, again, a Tom Holland level leak, if you will. But speaking of bouncing around, can we talk about Malcolm in the Middle?
So, yeah, we can talk about that. I guess I don't even care to talk about episode 6, which is technically the next one we're going to be talking about. Long story short, it was Halloween. all like the Easter eggs for this is they're all wearing their comic suits for Halloween, like they're all dressed like they were in the comics, and we saw Billy and Tommy's powers that we already knew that was going to happen. So, yay, all done with that, and nothing in that episode, although fun. Nothing in that episode was like groundbreaking.
Well, I'm kind of shocked. I can't recall if you are or not, but I'm a huge Malcolm in the Middle fan. I've actually been rewatching the show
Okay.
for the last few weeks,
Sure.
couple months
Uh-huh.
maybe. One of my favorites. I really enjoy it. I think it's really funny. I think it's quick. I think the early bits are well written, and it's got a very nihilistic, cynical attitude that I enjoy. But I was thinking how it would have been a huge missed opportunity to have Bryan Cranston show up and help Vision with dad stuff.
That would have been pretty cool. Pretty cool.
Because we got Kitty Foreman, who
Yeah.
for some reason they didn't use in the 70s themed episode, if I'm recalling correctly. But I thought that would be a good way to get someone from television that I feel like most people would know for something like that. But I was also thinking that Evan Peters would be terrific as the older brother Francis in a Malcolm in the Middle reboot.
Oh, there you go.
That one's a freebie. You can have that one, Fox.
So, I'm not as much of a fan of Malcolm in the Middle as I am Modern Family, and episode 7 really took the twist of both, like having the kids walk around, break the fourth wall, and talk to us, the viewers, like Malcolm in the Middle, but it also has like the mom interview, like it does in the dad interview, like
See,
it does in Modern Family.
you've since convinced me to watch that program
Yes.
because I have not seen it.
It's very good.
But what I thought that was gonna do, I thought that was gonna be an Office themed episode.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
I saw like the floating head of Elizabeth Olsen
Yeah.
doing her little thing, and I was thinking, oh, they're gonna do an Office bit, and then I was thoroughly disappointed.
Well, and even the title card for WandaVision on that episode was very Modern Family-esque, which is great.
Yeah,
Because Tosh and I are actually rewatching
like
Modern Family.
yeah. How about that?
Yeah, so you're watching Malcolm in the Middle, and we're rewatching Modern Family, which is pretty
So
funny.
after that, you and I we're gonna rewatch the Dick Van Dyke Show and I Love Lucy in order. That's the next breakdown. We're gonna do every episode of Gilligan's Island.
I wouldn't mind
Right
going
here on
back to
Pick 'Em and
that.
Stick
I wouldn't mind going back to that =70s show, but those other two I don't think are gonna happen. Sorry.
But then when we got to season 8, you might want to just cut off my mic because I'd just be yelling.
Yeah, I mean season 1 I would even argue is a little iffy, but
I just don't know why Jackie and Hyde didn't end up together. But that's anyway.
Yeah.
Where were WandaVision? What were we talking about?
yes,
I've noticed that when we don't have anything to talk about, it's a very telling sign of the story
yeah.
and script of whatever we're talking about. Is when we do that, you got a problem, Disney.
Well, so here's the things that are going on, and I'm still standing by the fact that I enjoy WandaVision. Like, it's not anything that I'm gonna... When people ask me now, like, oh, is WandaVision worth watching? I would say now that you have 8 episodes to binge watch through, you might as well just wait to the last one, or the last 2 if there is still that mystery episode that we still don't know about, and then just binge watch it all. Would I say, like, 3-4 weeks ago, oh, yeah, you should, go back and just watch each one as they come out, knowing what happens now? No. I don't think I would say that you should just, watch it weekly. This is one of those shows that you would want to sit down in an afternoon and binge through, because each episode's only 20 minutes long and has 500 hours of credits with it, so that's that. But
Yeah.
when it comes down to the story, I like the story. I like how they do it. It's just not enough in each episode. Like, they focus, as you had mentioned in previous episodes, they focus on doing so much of the shtick that they're trying to do that it's not giving the Marvel hardcoreists the shit that they want,
I mean, I wouldn't even say it's that. It's like almost like they're treading water instead of I guess combining the two elements in a way that I feel like it could be. Like I would like to see this thing retooled because there are like nuggets that I'm really interested in
Jeez.
during it, but you got to sit through 5 minutes of the opening Marvel credits, and then you got to sit through the gags, and then right at the very end when stuff's about to happen, 15 minutes of end credits.
Yeah.
So at least they started putting some post credit scene stuff in there. Um,
Oh yeah, and so that kind of made me guess or second guess, was there post credit scenes in other episodes or no?
Not that I recall, because I
Okay.
remember skimming through them and
Okay,
not
good.
seeing
Cuz I
anything.
was like, why is there I mean, there's literal 8 minutes or 10 minutes of credits that happen at the end of each episode. And like at the end, it's the first part of the credits is cool because you get to see, Hex and different colors and shit. Like great, cool. But then after that, it just rolls credits like normal and I'm like, "Wait, there's nothing?" But now they're finally utilizing that. And but the first one was a little disappointing, I would say. Um, where we see Evan Peters, who isn't in the entire episode. This is episode 7, and then all of a sudden he's just like, "Oh, hi, I'm here. Don't forget me.
Snoopers be snooping.
Don't forget me." And then in episode 8, which is last week's episode, we didn't see him at all again. So not even in the end credit scene. So I'm just a little sad about that because I think he's my favorite.
I too. Well, actually, my next note is that Monica and Jimmy Woo are probably my favorite pair on the show. I'm really digging their dynamic when they were working together. So I guess maybe I will be on board for that X Files show if they ever do that.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, I would agree that Evan Peters is kind of stealing the show in terms of likability and engagement. I kind of just want to know what's going on with that.
Yeah, I do too. I didn't mind seeing in episode 8 the connections kind of being put together. I didn't mind that. In fact, I would even argue that maybe should have been an opening episode because I feel like it wouldn't have made the struggle to get through everything prior to this so hard. Would you, I mean, as someone who is a very high critic of this show, do you think that having episode 8 where we kind of see the witch trials and we kind of see like the time skipping between Wanda's life would have been beneficial in the beginning?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure how I would have retooled this. I would actually like to sit down maybe one day and think that out more thoroughly. Um, But like I said with the first half of the season, it seemed like they weren't saying anything and they were being real cryptic and vague. And then a few episodes later, they come back and just dump everything out and explain it word for word, um, which kind of not only feels weird, but it also kind of ruined what made it interesting and kind of vague to begin with. So I'm not sure because I did really like that scene with the Salem witch trials. I kind of thought Abigail Williams was going to come out. If you get what that means, it's from The Crucible.
Yeah.
If any of you didn't pass high school English, that's what that meant. Anyway, um, but yeah, I think it was strange because we were saying right off the bat, watch Agatha be the bad guy the whole time, and sure as shit, there it is. So
I
I
feel
don't know.
like I feel like a lot of people were saying that because she was just like this very lovable character, and I still love her character. I think she's playing a pretty interesting like
Her
villain.
little song and dance number saying that she straight up killed the dog, that might be the best scene in the whole show. I'm not even mad about it.
uh, but here's why I say if we would have gotten all of this in the beginning, because Tosh and I, along with watching Modern Family, on the weekends we are chugging through the Marvel MCU in like proper order, not in release order, but in chronological order. So it's kind of interesting because the end credit scenes don't line up very well, but all of like the story is really, it's cool for me to sit back and say like, oh shit, I forgot about this character, and of course they're in this movie, and then they don't come back until this movie. So to see like the origin of why Wanda is doing this laid out is really interesting to me. And I think if we go back and rewatch this series, which I'm sure I will, after a big break, I would start with this episode and then go back and watch from episode 1. So the order would be from 8, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then probably 9. Hopefully, I don't know where they're going to go with 9, to be honest, but because that's that. There was a couple of flashback scenes that really intrigued me a little. Number one being we see Loki's specter, and she like goes into the room. Now, is that the portion that we've heard throughout all of the MCU that gives her power? Like,
Because up to as far as my knowledge goes, which if you don't know, I don't know very much about comic books. I'm more of a movie fan first. But I didn't think we got what made Wanda have her powers. Am I wrong?
We just know that in Age of Ultron, it is said that, and they reconfirm it in this series.
Yeah, we get the scene with the Stark missile that didn't end up going off or whatever.
But they just say that like she got her powers from the Space Stone or the Mind Stone or
right,
whatever that stone, the Mind Stone, I think, right? I think. I don't
sure.
know. Yeah, they're all the stones to me, but that's all I knew about it. And
I don't know.
Yeah,
but so I have no idea what I was kind of waving my hand of it literally because that's what she does. But yeah, I had no idea what made her tick or what, because I know Quicksilver is an X-Men, so I figured he was just a mutant of some kind. So I have no idea.
And that may be the way it is now, because from everything that I've read and what my speculation on it is that Agatha, since she was the one who brought him in, that because that's explained in her little song and dance number. That she brought him in and changed his face or, whatever it may be, that is the Fox's Quicksilver, which means that he is a mutant from, what I understand, because he wasn't the one that was riddled with bullets, because in episode 8, she even makes it a point to say that during like the interrogation scene where she's like, oh yeah, I even brought your brother back, except this one isn't riddled with bullets. That's the other one who's still dead, buried in the ground. So that means that body is still there, that this is a different Quicksilver, which is also alluded to in episode 7 when she says to her boys that he's not your uncle. And she kind of changed her mind on the fact that Pietro was just the same brother that she had. So it's kind of cool that they're connecting that, but at the same time, while they're laying everything out on the table, they're not explaining a lot of like the undertones of what's happening,
Mm-hmm.
So they're telling us a bunch of stuff, but they're also not telling us anything while they're telling us a bunch of stuff. That's kind of like where my shoulder shrug is, because I want to know, but I don't know anything.
That's a great way to sum up the entire series, I would say.
One thing that I have a little bit of a guess on, or maybe it was more of a nod, but I'm hoping they kind of go with this. So, and I actually I thought of this while watching the show, and then I saw someone else, I think it was Screen Crush or maybe Screen Rant, one of the two, kind of said the same thing along the lines that I did. When we see the scene where Wanda goes into the room with Loki's specter and then it kind of explodes and that's how she gets her power or whatever, we see like a floating Scarlet Witch, and with the big, white or yellow light behind it. Two things on that. Number one, that kind of reminds me of the Phoenix from X-Men, where she kind of like comes into power. And when Jean Grey becomes the Phoenix, and it's a similar scene where she's kind of floating, and there's a bunch of Phoenix energy behind her. So that kind of, like I said, I don't know if it was a nod or if it was kind of like, hey, Jean Grey may not be in existence, but Scarlet Witch is, and this is an X-Men kind of push, which I'm kind of hoping for. The second thing is I saw someone on Reddit take that image in like hyper analyze or enhance it in some way where you can see details of her, and she looks fucking awesome. She looks great. So I'm really excited to kind of see if that comes out at the end. Or
Yeah, we heard it here first, folks. We can finally report that she has her silly superhero nickname. They finally said it.
That's right. And I remember when that was said at the end of this episode.
And then you clapped because you recognized it.
I was like, "Hey, they said the thing.
No,
they said the thing.
That name. That's the name of the character there.
They said the name. I knew about it.
Yeah, I felt like I was watching Rogue One.
Oh no, I knew it was coming.
Oh, we got him again.
The other thing that they said, which is a nod to me, where I was like, oh, they said the thing, and it's not a nod to you because you don't read comics, is chaos magic, which is like a big thing that is surrounding Scarlet Witch in the comic books because she uses...
Isn't that meth?
It's meth mixed with heroin, mixed with cocaine in liquid form, and then injected through IV. So very powerful, potent shit.
It sounds like it.
Yeah. But that's like what powers... Scarlet Witch in the comics, and we get all of that nod and blah 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 in this episode. So that's whatever, kind of cool. I don't know how I feel about how Agatha looked at the end because she had some wonky ass makeup going on with little strings and shit. But we get it, Marvel. She's a witch.
Well, all I was thinking was, why don't the kids just take one step backwards?
Right.
Because then Because then if they literally just stepped back one foot, it would have enough slack in the magic fucking pixie sticks or whatever, and everything will be okay. Why didn't they do that?
I don't know. The other thing,
we need to write them a letter right away.
Yes. Hey, make better decisions. The end credit scene on this one, however, gave us a little bit more of a push.
Explain this one to me, because I don't know what this is.
So I'm not super familiar with this, but I know that there is a comic storyline, and I looked it up just a little bit so I can get my dates right. It was released in 1989. It's called Vision Quest. And in that comic book, Vision is completely disassembled and then restored. But the new Vision is completely colorless. He's emotionless. He's basically just a robot. He's back to his AI state. He can't think for himself. Well, he thinks for himself, but he doesn't have...
He lost his humanity.
Yeah, he doesn't have the humanity that was given to him. And he's completely white. So he kind of, in a way... And when I was... So I remember this because in one of the other comic books, there's a reference to that. And it kind of does like a weird flashback thing where it kind of... shows the image of White Vision, and I thought at first, because I was younger and didn't know about it, it was Silver Surfer, because he kind of looks like the Silver Surfer in the comic books when he's white.
Right.
So here in this scene, he looks like what's the Dr. whatever from Watchmen?
Dr. Manhattan.
Yeah, thank you. I'm glad you knew what I was talking about.
I did, but also on that token, I was gonna say he looks like Sonny from iRobot. That was instantly what I thought of.
Ooh, and by the way, iRobot is a fantastic movie. I really like that movie a lot.
Which that's the same guy. That's the same robot actor, Alan Tudyk, who was the guy from Rogue One.
Oh,
see how it all comes together.
Really? I didn't know that was Alan Tudyk.
That's Alec Tudyk.
Really?
He's in some new show. I keep getting fucking ads for it, and I'm sure now that I said it out loud, I'm gonna get him again. He's in some show right now where he plays like an alien, and he like wears like a human costume, and it looks like it's pretty funny. And I just wanted to shout him out because he's the man.
What? I haven't heard of that show either.
There's a lot going on. I know, but
interesting.
That's just this is the stress of being into like media these days. Is you gotta do your homework. You gotta know.
I wanna rant just a little bit.
Let's hear it.
Because it's on that same thing you just said. It's the curse of being in media. We just came out of a pandemic, and I guess we're still kind of in a pandemic, but
we're actually celebrating the 1 year of the 2-week shutdown.
Right.
So
yeah, but we're slowly coming out of it, right? The issue that this has caused, not only has it, halted all production on movies at the time, and TV shows, and releases, and there's pushbacks, and blah, blah, blahs. The issue that we're having now is there's nothing fucking on TV and there's nothing in the movie theaters. So everyone is talking about the same fucking thing. And I am so exhausted. Like, I was almost regretting coming down and talking about WandaVision again because everyone and their goddamn brother is talking about this show. And I'm just so tired of talking
And do
about
you
the
know what
same
this
thing.
means? Do you know what this means?
There's going to be a
Once,
monopoly.
well, that's already happening. It's too late to stop that.
True.
But no, what I was going to say is my biggest fear is that if the movie theaters were covered, which I really don't think they ever will, I think Avengers Endgame might be the last blockbuster.
That's a hot
If you
take.
really, I know we're getting a little deep there, but no. What I fear is that all those movies that everyone held on to that were supposed to come out last year, that means all that garbage is going to come out at the same time as the new garbage. That's going to be twice as much shit to have to sift through. And then right now we feel like we're in a drought, and then it's going to be oversaturation, and we're going to have the complete opposite fucking problem.
Well,
And
I was thinking about that too. I'm not necessarily. I've been in such a, as you said, drought that I'm not worried about the oversaturation at this point because you and I, we're gonna see some off the wall ones. You know, we're gonna see stuff that people aren't watching, and we're probably gonna talk about stuff on here that people aren't watching. But the only reason that we're sitting down doing this is because A, it's Marvel, and B, there's nothing else to talk about. You know, we just had the Golden Globes that happened, and I guess we're gonna try to plan and see where we can go with that. But I just need something else to stimulate my brain. You know, and
Well,
they
here's
took
the-
Office off of Netflix, so we can't sit down and watch that again.
I was going to, that is a great point. That fucking Peacock bullshit that they're doing. They hit you with a sneaky. You can watch like the first 2 or 3 seasons for free, and then you got to pay.
Oh no, I didn't even know that.
Sorry to break it to you, but here we are.
Yeah, I'm just getting a little tired.
Well, here's the other thing that I kind of lost the train of thought there, but here we are. Got it back. What I was going to say is I kind of liked the 2 to 3 or 8 months in between Marvel movies because as much as I like them, they're like junk food. I like them infrequently and when they get it just right. And like we keep saying whenever we see each other, that's not happening anymore. We're going to have something Marvel related coming out damn near every week from now until the end of time.
Yeah, and hopefully we're a little bit more on top of the next series, which comes out in what, 2 weeks? I think it does.
I don't know. It's coming up fast.
Yeah, which is obviously Falcon and Winter Soldier, but to just lighten your fatigue on Marvel right now, and I wanted to talk about this anyways, but we have Black Widow that's set to release on the 7th of May. And then we have Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings, which we haven't heard a goddamn thing about, which is coming out in July. And then we have Eternals, which is going to take a huge jump. So we got May to July, so there's a little bit of a lag. And then there's July to November for Eternals. And then after that, it's like, hi, more Marvel stuff, because we go from November to December for Eternals and Spider-Man. And then we have to wait a whopping 4 months until Doctor Strange, because that comes out in March of 2022. So there's a little bit of space, but it's tight. It's gonna be real tight.
Yeah. So, and the big secret I think people, even diehard fans, know but maybe don't want to admit to themselves is this isn't groundbreaking art here. This is fun fluff.
Yeah, and you had mentioned a little while ago that you think Endgame might be the last big blockbuster. Gonna give a shout out to one of our viewers who commented on our last breakdown of episode 4 and 5, where he says, to be honest, I haven't watched WandaVision yet, and I really don't care about spoilers because he's not sure if he's even into the MCU anymore after Endgame. So, John, I feel you. We hear you on that, and I think we both agree that.
I was saying that from the very first episode. I do not think this was the right jumping off point for post Endgame stuff. This is too off the wall, too avant-garde, might I say, for the 40-year-old house moms that pop this on to throw in front of their kids. Um, that's why I think Black Widow, love it or hate it, would have been a good choice. It's safe. It's probably going to be very familiar, and as Vox put it to me a few days ago, shit. Um, so I don't
Yeah.
know. I totally agree with that. Like I've been saying, besides Doctor Strange and Spider-Man, plural, because I'm
I
hoping
was gonna
I
say I
get to
heard
see
the men in
Toby
there.
again.
I heard the men.
I just really want to see Toby again. That's the bottom line of it. I really don't give a fuck about what's coming next. Obviously we do this, and I am a fan of watching garbage on occasion, so I'll probably stick around. But like, I'm not gonna keel over and pass on if I don't get to see Shang-Chi and the Mandarin redo. I don't really think I care.
I Shang-Chi's not on my radar, and to be honest with you, like you mentioned, after going back and kind of rewatching some Black Widow trailers and kind of the breakdowns, that's not really on my radar anymore either. It doesn't seem to be the thing that's going to fix my gimme more Marvel, and like you said, I think Spider-Man is going to be the next one. Because it's Tom Holland, and how can you not have a stupid grin on your face like the boy crush we have on him when he's on screen? But we got Black Widow, Shang-Chi, and Eternals, 3 movies that I just don't give a flying fuck about coming up like in the next 5 to 8 months.
I think a Guardians of the Galaxy needed to come out right about now. That'd be a good like middle point.
And why they aren't doing Guardians so early is beyond me as well, because
because James Gunn got fired for 2 minutes so he went and made another movie, and now we gotta fucking wait.
Well, and even then, I think that it's.
But like I keep saying, I'm excited for the Suicide Squad, so I can wait a minute. If that turns out to be any good. If not, we tried.
Yeah, and I'm not going down that path with you.
Oh, we're doing it. We're gonna do that. We're doing Zack Snyder's Justice League too.
I haven't even seen the original Justice League.
That's the point. I want to see your fresh perspective on Superman as Jesus and stuff. We're gonna.
While we're fucking tangenting here, and it doesn't matter because if you're listening this far, you want to hear this anyways. What is the whole thing with the new Superman?
Right. So this was just announced. This is just broke. I don't even want to say it. It doesn't. I don't even want to say it. J.J. Abrams got fucking hired to ruin another fucking franchise. Why are we doing this again? He just shit on Star Wars. Can we not for 1 second?
Oh my God. So I don't truly mind J.J. Abrams, okay? I think he has his head in the right area.
I read or heard somewhere that they call him Spielberg light, like a light beer.
Yeah.
And I could not agree more. He's got all the style and none of the heart. He's just that's the thing, is he's just not a good writer. That's the problem. He's great at visuals. He's got his head right in some areas, but then you put him behind the pen and it implodes on itself.
Here's the thing with J.J. Abrams, okay? He's got too much going on. He did Westworld. And then he's like, "Oh, I got my hands in some good sci-fi stuff aside from Star Trek and Star Wars. So let's try some more." And then he's doing Lovecraft Country, which I haven't seen, nor do I know if it's like sci-fi or thriller-y, but it looks kind of interesting. And okay, great. And then from there, he's still doing Mission Impossible 7 and 8, which I haven't seen Mission Impossible since probably 1 and 2.
Well, I'd have to hit you with a disagree on that. Part 6 was truly a masterful piece of action cinema.
Okay, so you're saying that...
And I'm not even pulling a bit there. That's But
okay,
JJ didn't have anything to do with that one, I don't think.
Yeah, what one's that one? Fallout?
Yeah, he didn't direct that one. That
But
was
he's
some
the
other
producer on it.
But that just means he gave money. That doesn't mean necessarily he
but
had.
still, he's still.
Well, here I'll do you one better. One of my reviews from years back at youtube.com/confusedreviews.
Good plug.
Thanks, good plug. On a horror thriller I really enjoy called Joyride with my boy Paul Walker and Steve Zahn. He wrote the screenplay for that, and I really like that movie, and I think it's really clever, and I think it's really well done. So maybe he needs to go back to doing smaller scale stuff. I don't know what it is, but either that or that movie was from 2001. Maybe he's lodged his head too far up his own ass now, and his perm is doing something wrong. I can't explain it. I used to love that movie Super 8 he did. I think the first, like, 2/3 are great.
Yeah.
And then there's a big CGI monster.
Yeah, that killed
and
it for me,
falls
too.
apart.
Yeah, Super 8 was really good until the end. Honestly.
So even though all of this has nothing to do with WandaVision, I don't know.
I think that he has the reason why I'm kind of elaborating on J.J. Abrams is because I think he has his hand in the Marvel hat right now. And they're just waiting for him to pull out a good movie that they are going to say, do it. Because he did the Star Wars, and he did the Star thing, Star Wars and Star Trek. And I think they're waiting for him to be like, I want to do Captain Marvel 5 because I can do a lot of solar lens flares, and that just works with that character, and that'll be it. And I don't know what J.J. Abrams sounds like. That was a bad impression. But
I was going to say, he does not sound like a Southerner like you are portraying him here.
Yeah, whatever. But I'm just saying, like, I feel like he has.
My name's J.J. Abrams. I did that newfound fancy Star Treks and whatnot.
Well, he's got his hand in the mixing pot, and I think that's where it's going to be going from there. That's all I'm saying. WandaVision is available on Disney Plus right now for streaming.
Well, honestly, you know me. I have a weird, lovable soft spot for those dog shit DC movies. It's like a 10-car pile up that I just can't seem to divert my glance from, to the point where I'm actually both unironically and ironically excited for Zack Snyder's Snyder cut of Justice League, which is going to be 4 hours long, Fox.
I don't want to watch that.
And we're going to watch the whole thing.
I don't want to. Don't make me do it.
Joker says the line. He says the thing.
I don't even know what you're talking about at this point.
He says we live in a society.
I don't get it. I don't get it.
What do you mean you don't get it?
I don't get it. What is that?
That's what he says.
I don't get it. Like, comment, subscribe if you made it this far. Thanks for listening to our bullshit at the end of these episodes. I know we get a little off tangent, but
more like bullshit the whole episode.
Yeah, I mean, WandaVision has its ups and downs and its perks to the hardcore Marvel fans who like to say, hey, that's a comic book number on a license plate. That's a thing. I know it. And also to the fans like Luke, who's like, that's Scarlet Witch, but they haven't said her name until now, and that's Scarlet Witch now. And we appreciate that as much as
exactly what I was looking for.
So, like, comment, subscribe. If you haven't checked out Luke's newest video yet, he talks about zombie movies, and that's a cool thing, because I'm also in that as a very quick cameo. So, see if you can find me. Give him a like.
He's going to be in the next one, too. Just you wait, kids.
Okay, I haven't agreed to that yet.
He's gonna be in all of them.
Like, comment, subscribe on his shit. Like, comment, subscribe on our shit. Like, comment, subscribe. Do I have to say it again?
What do we do?
Have a great day.
Toodles.